Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing very well. So, for the next in a series of Caps Have Donut Legacy Early Cold War fighters that we need/want in DCS, today a special one, the Hawker Hunter. Very cool airplane if you've ever seen these in real life. So the Hawker Hunter is a transonic British jet power fighter aircraft that was developed by Hawker Aircraft for the Royal Air Force during the late 40s and early 50s. It was designed to take advantage of the newly developed Rolls-Royce Avon engine. This is an engine that went in lots of British stuff after this, and the swept wing, and was the first jet-powered aircraft produced by Hawker to be procured by the RAF. On the 7th of September 1953, the modified first prototype broke the world airspeed record for aircraft, achieving a speed of 728 miles per hour, 632 knots. The single-seat Hunter was introduced into service in 1954 as a manoeuvrable day intercept aircraft. Now, this series is 1955 to 1970, but it's a special plane, and I figured we'd give it a year or so. Quickly succeeding first-generation jet fighters in RAF service, such as the Gloucester Meteor and the de Havilland Venom. The all-weather night fighter role was filled by the Gloucester Javelin. Awesome pictures here. Single-seater Hunter there, trainer twin-seater Hunter there, and the mighty Vulcan in the background. I mean, that's a sight you don't get to see a lot. As the Cold War arose in the late 40s, the RAF came to recognise that it would urgently require the development and procurement of fighters equipped with features such as swept wings. Swept wings give us extra speed, obviously. By this time, it had also become apparent that newly developed jet propulsion would form the future of fighter aircraft development. Many companies were quick to devise their own designs to harness this means of propulsion. Hawker Aviation's chief designer, Sidney Cam, had proposed the Hawker P1040 for the RAF, but this demonstrator failed to interest them. Seeking better performance and fulfillment of the Air Ministry specification E38-46, Sidney Cam designed the Hawker P1052, which was essentially a Seahawk outfitted with a 35-degree swept wing. Performing in first flight in 1948, the P1052 demonstrated good performance and conducted several carrier trials. In March 1948, the Air Ministry issued a revised specification F3-48, which demanded a speed of 629 miles per hour at 45,000 feet and high rate of climb, presumably for intercept, while carrying an armament of 4 20mm or 2 30mm cannon rather than the large caliber gun demanded by earlier specifications. Initially fitted with a single air intake in the nose and a T-tail, the project rapidly evolved into the more familiar Hunter shape. And here we've got the Hunter cockpit view. Just my kind of thing, that is. Exactly what I like to see. Pretty much not much more than a Warbird cockpit. It did have an early intercept radar. I'm assuming that's the scope there. I don't know. I don't know enough about the Hunter. But cool, right? Not quite the same thing as the F-18 radar. Nice and simple, just like I like. Crew 1. And the single seater, obviously. Length 46 feet. Wingspan 34 feet. Height 13 feet. Wing area 349 square feet. Empty weight 14,000 pounds. Gross weight 18,000 pounds. Max takeoff weight 25,000 pounds. Power plant 1 times Rolls-Royce Avon 207 turbojet engine with just over 10,000 pounds of thrust. So you can't really compare it to a modern F-16 or something. But for the day, pretty cool. Maximum speed, 623 miles per hour at 36,000 feet, 715 miles per hour at sea level, which is strange because usually we see the highest speed at altitude rather than sea level, but that appears to be correct from what we can see. Maximum speed, Mach 0.94. Combat range, 385 miles. Ferry range, 1,900 miles, not actually that bad. Service ceiling, 50,000 feet, pretty good. Rate of climb, 17,000 feet per minute, meh. Thruster weight 0.56, not bad for the time actually. Armament 4 times 30mm Aden revolver cannons in a gun pack, so that's pretty hardcore. Now we are actually getting this aircraft in DCS, although it's an unofficial free mod, and I think that's a version with 4 times 20mm cannon. I stand to be corrected. Hardpoints. Later on we did have missiles in these things. 4 underwing, 7 hardpoints on the Singaporean version, with a capacity of 7,400 pounds. With precisions to carry combinations of rockets, got the Matra rocket pods, or Hispano-Sura pods. Missiles, 4 times 89 Sidewinders, contemporary old versions obviously. Got 4 times AGM, so this is going to be a later model obviously. AGM-65 Maverick to surface missiles. I'd never realised the Hunter got the Maverick, so I didn't even realise that the Hunters were in service when the Mavericks were here. So that's an interesting thing I've learnt today. Be amazing if we ever got a version of this with Mavericks on. How cool would that be? 4 30mm cannons, Sidewinders and Mavericks. Pretty cool. A Hawker Hunter story. The so-called Hawker Hunter Tower Bridge incident occurred on 5th of April 1968 when Hunter pilot Alan Pollock performed, I remember this from a story that is, performed an unauthorised low flying over London landmarks and then flew through the span of the Tower Bridge at the Thames. This was in protest for cuts to the Air Force, I believe. On April the 4th, he and 3 other Hunter pilots from his squadron had flown from their base at West Raham in Norfolk to RAF Tangmere in Sussex. He decided that the following day on their way back he would make a detour over the capital. It was worth flying over London, even if I was going to get to court-martialed. I went over the Thames because I didn't want to cause any trouble. Then he was in for a surprise. There, staring me in the face, was the Tower Bridge. I'd forgotten it was there. Until the very instant, I'd absolutely no idea that, of course, Tower Bridge would be there. It was easy enough to fly over, but the idea of flying through the spans suddenly struck me. I had just 10 seconds to grapple with the seductive proposition from which few ground attack pilots of any nationality could have resisted. My brain started racing to reach a decision. Years of fast, low-level strike flying made the simple decision. Right at the last minute, as my cockpit canopy was just below the bridge and the girders were all around me, in this microsecond I remembered, I've got a tail fin behind, and I thought, swear word, going to lose the fin. He never did. And that's it. Cool, simple plane. Would love to have it in DCS, especially as a professional model. It would be cool. Love to shoot some Mavericks from it. How cool would that be? Anyway, hope you enjoyed that, and see you later.